Namaskara, the South Indian is here. You know what? The South Indian may be very different from the North Indian in terms of language, culture, eating habits, weather, cinema, etc., etc. But there is one thing which binds all of us. We are all Indians. But increasingly we see that somehow the southern states feel that the federal structure that they belong to, the federal structure that India is so famous for, is somehow being ruptured in more ways than one. We of course hear of the Hindi hegemony very often. We also hear of how there are other injustices which the southern states feel are perpetrated by the center or the northern states. Today we are going to speak about that. It is right up on the wall, the writing on the wall as it were. According to Siddaramaiah, Chief Minister of Karnataka, North India should be indebted to South India. I'll tell you how. You know, it all began when the interim budget was presented on Thursday by Finance Minister Siddaramaiah. Congress MP from Bengaluru Rural, D.K. Suresh, while expressing his displeasure on the interim budget, obviously went kind of overboard, bearing his southern nationalism on sleeve, and said how the people of South India might have to demand a separate country if the injustice of not providing the rightful share of taxes to the southern states continued. Listen to what he had said.
ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಹಂತದಲ್ಲೂ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಲ್ ಏನು ಸಿಗಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯ ಹಣ, ಇವತ್ತು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯ ಹಣ ಉತ್ತರ ಭಾರತದ ಕಡೆ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಹಂಚ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಚಾರಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಖಂಡಿಸಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಬೇಡಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ಇಡಬೇಕಾದಂತ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಹಿಂದಿ ಪ್ರದೇಶದವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೇರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಭಾವಿಸ್ತೀನಿ.
Later, after being rapped by both the Deputy Chief Minister and his own brother, D.K. Shivakumar, as also Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, D.K. Suresh climbed down and he said on X, a proud Indian and a proud Kannadiga, South India and especially Karnataka have faced the brutality of injustice in funds distribution. Even after being the second largest GST contributing state, the centre has been utterly unjust to Karnataka and the southern states, while states like Gujarat have seen a 51% hike. If this is not injustice, then what is? We are the sons of this soil and need funds for our developmental activities. Even after repeated requests for funds for developmental activities and drought relief, the centre has continued to turn a deaf ear to us. I shall also continue to raise my voice against injustice towards Karnataka, no matter what. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka. Now, post Suresh's comment, it seems like the entire Karnataka has now erupted at what it sees as the centre of North India's unjust, unfair attitude with the reduction in tax devolution. Siddaramaiah said this resulted in a loss of over 45,000 crore rupees to the state in the last 4 years. Alleging injustice to Karnataka by the central government with reduction in tax devolution, Siddaramaiah added that taxes paid by Kannadigas was going to northern states, and this is a time when the state faces acute drought, which is true. Listen to what Siddaramaiah said.
ಈ 4 ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈ 15ನೇ ಹಣಕಾಸಿನ ಆಯೋಗ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ 20, 21, 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24 ಈ 4 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 45,000 ಕೋಟಿ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯಿತು. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯಿತು? 45,000 crores. ಬರೀ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಡೆವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಒಂದರಲ್ಲೇ ಎಷ್ಟು? 45,000 crores. ಕೇಂದ್ರದ ವಿತ್ತ ಸಚಿವೆ, ಹಣಕಾಸಿನ ಸಚಿವೆ ಇದನ್ನ ತಿರಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು.
He of course said and stressed how Karnataka had faced significant challenges with the reduced tax devolution share post the 15th Finance Commission, resulting in a loss of over 45,000 crores in the last 4 years, which is huge. He added that this injustice cannot really stand. He said, and I quote him, "We stand united in demanding fair treatment and justice for Kannadigas to secure our state's welfare."
As far as irrigation is concerned in Karnataka, for Upper Bradda project, Madam Finance Minister had announced that she is going to give 5,300 crores for the Bhadra project. Is it not the Finance Minister's announcement? Without knowing, without having the policy, I think no minister will announce without any recommendation. Before the election, Honorable Finance Minister had announced in the budget that they are going to release 5,300 crores. Have they released? Is it not the voice of the Honorable Finance Minister? I am telling you one instance.
The protest by the Karnataka government will now be taken to New Delhi on 7th of February, which will also of course obviously include Siddaramaiah against what they see as injustice to Karnataka by the union government when it comes to tax devolution and grants in aid.
Karnataka being the second largest tax payer to the central kitty, while distributing the revenue, BJP has shown their colors of not giving enough funds. Enough funds in the sense whatever is allocated to the state of Karnataka has been delayed and not adequately distributed the fund. So Congress is protesting against this.
Well, Karnataka is not the first state in the south to protest when it comes to tax devolution. Tamil Nadu had brought this up many times with the then finance minister, PTR Madurai, getting into a direct confrontation with the centre. Let me also add here that yes, this issue of tax devolution is important, but to say we shall secede is maybe over the top, and I mean in the context of DK Suresh. Let's get different perspectives on it. Let's debate. Let me now welcome all the guests on the show. T.S. Sankeet, who's spokesperson for the BJP in Karnataka, Dr. Baswaraj Itnal, who's a senior journalist, and Satyaprakash, spokesperson for the KPCC. The other day when I was speaking on the same topic, Dr. Itnal had not minced words and said very clearly what he thought was complete injustice. So let me also say that Dr. Itnal I'll go to in a bit, but let me now come to the BJP spokesperson T.S. Sankeet. Sankeet, thank you so much for joining us on the debate. Sankeet, don't you think that this is grossly unjust? Because when you speak about a performance, prosperity, then it should dovetail very clearly with the kind of taxes that the state is expected. Karnataka does very well on various indices, whether it's primary health, education, and on several other parameters. But if you look at Karnataka, it's not paid in the same way as the center gets to pay back Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Sankeet, you have to unmute. You have to unmute, sir. I can't hear him at all. All right, Sankeet, I'll come to you in a bit. Dr. Itnal, the thing is that day you spoke about it. For the benefit of the viewers, if you could just say what your view is on the devolution of taxes issue, Doctor.
See, if in all fairness, the center and state sit together and go by what is objective and scientific way of handling finances, then there is no problem. But what's happening here is that whether it is tax devolution and in few years to come after delimitation, even the political apportionment, both are going to be stifled. And this financial devolution is very scientific way. And what prevents the finance minister, who also is from Karnataka, who also represents Bangalore, What prevents her from, giving our due? And you said, no, it is secession is over the top. Secession, nobody is, that's not going to happen in a hurry. But only because DK Suresh went over the top, it got traction. It is important many times to obtain right amount
All right,
of...
gentlemen, I'm sorry, but I'll have to cut live to the Prime Minister who's speaking in Parliament. We have to listen into what the Prime Minister says. Over to you.
पर धन्यवाद देने के लिए खड़ा हूं। संसद के इस नए भवन में जब आदरणीय राष्ट्रपति जी